Rowdy's here.
I'd like to call the regular session meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Romanek?
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Commissioner Sui?
Here.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Here.
Commissioner Casabun?
Here.
May you please rise for invocation and salute the flag. Invocation given by Pastor Brian Robinson.
Would you pray with me? We come to you tonight, Heavenly Father, grateful for this city that we all love. We thank you for those first responders who keep us safe. We thank you for all the city employees who work their best to make this a great place to live. And we thank you for our city commission and those who've taken up the responsibility of making decisions. We are commanded to pray for those in authority, and so tonight we come asking that as this meeting goes on, that the commissioners would make decisions that are filled with justice, that are full of mercy for both the well-to-do and the less well-to-do, and full of your wisdom, because we can't do this on our own. We ask you would bless this city, its businesses, its houses of worship, and all its residents, that this would be a place that we can be proud of and would make you proud too. It's in the name of your love we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975. It was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are none, Mayor.
Public comment on agenda items only. If anybody from the public would like to comment on the agenda items, please come to the podium, state your name, address your concerns, and please limit those concerns to approximately 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mike Beatty, 46 Wharton Street, in the development of Four Seasons. I rise to have a discussion about resolution number 1, which is the release of the bond to the developer, Mr. Pilak. First, thank you to Commissioner Watson for setting up a wonderful meeting we had out of our development. Brock was with us, engineering. I see engineering's here again. I thought it was a really good tour of Phase 2D, which is essentially the resolution. We did point out some issues during our little walk, which we feel are really issues that are in the realm of the developer. There's some asphalt issues, suggested that there was some storm drain issues and ADA issues. Once again, you may hear all those and recall that that's also things the city is accountable for. So once the bond is released, then of course the city would take over those type of issues. Not sure the residual in the bond, is sufficient to cover those type of issues. So maybe you might want to just relook at that residual. It's $100K. That seems a little slight. In addition, as we were walking, we all noted that the trees, which are on the site plan approved by the Shade Tree Commission, a good deal of them are dead. By the way, that's the second dead. They've been planted once and died. They were planted again and died. Mr. Russell and I talked about maybe a maintenance bond where the developer still should be held accountable for ensuring those trees, that a set of trees, I guess approved by the Shade Tree Commission, are planted and they survive. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody. We feel there's some issues out there still that were driven by both the developer and the home builder, Ryan Holmes. But once again, we understand this is just 2D, and the retainer off the bond feels like it's a little low. So for item 1, in my other job, we would table it again to make sure the engineering department is consulted and the retainer is sufficient to cover the issues that may have to come up by the developer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beatty. Go ahead.
My name's Dennis Sandifer. Live at 17 Torresdale Street in the Four Seasons. I'm here to request that the performance bond be increased to $250,000 instead of $100,000. The city was at the Four Seasons last week, and Mr. Watson and Mr. Brock. We did take a walk. Some of the items you were only concerned with were from curb to curb. There's a lot of items that are in common areas, drainage, water standing, that need to be addressed. My concern is that these items are on a site plan. And why are they not done correctly? Why do we even have a site plan if you're not going to follow it? I know this performance bond is held by the city, and we have to come to you to get things fixed, which I have to correct myself because I found out that we don't have to come to you. It's the developer that will fix it, and the bond will be returned to him if he fixes it. Our community has a lot of elderly residents and are on fixed incomes. If $100,000 you want to give us is not enough to cover the work to be done in our community, the HOA will have to raise fees, which puts the burden on our senior residents. At the meeting the other day, Mr. Russell stated the city would impose another bond on Mr. Belak for tree replacement, which I hope you do. If we can't get things fixed in Section 2D, the HOA's satisfaction we will have no recourse but to take legal action. Thank you.
Good evening, Tim Cardy, Millville. First off, my expertise as far as road work, pavement, and everything, due to my employer and all the multiple classes I've taken at Rutgers University, I believe that the city should come up with an ordinance for issues like this to file the New Jersey Department of Transportation and specifications. So that way you're not having issues with the water ponding, your ADA compliances, because we have to file them on state highways, and also with trees. Because on our projects, and I'm not speaking on behalf of New Jersey DOT, my employer, but on my projects, the trees must be maintained and living for at least 1 year and take growth. So it's something to think about. I know election time's coming up, but I don't know if engineering's doing it or not. Maybe they should adopt New Jersey Department of Transportation specifications, especially since lawyers have already been involved and approved them. And also on that note, I'm here to speak on resolution number, and also as far as the bond goes, $100,000 today for a contractor, that's like urinating in the wind to them. Maybe you guys should be looking to go to $1 million bond on certain projects. Any road project right now should be up to $1 million bond, automatically. The $1 million will hurt them more than 100,000, anything that's in the thousands. So now I'm done off that one. Let me go to resolution 3, repaving of Buck Street. I have a question on how come we're repaving Buck Street and not Broad Street. Broad Street is one of the main thoroughfares into our city and out of our city. The county paid from 7th Street out, and then the rest of the Broad Street is horrible. You have a beautiful athletic stadium sitting there, and you have visitors coming in from all over the state and maybe the country to go to them sporting events or band competitions, and they're riding on a horrible road. I travel that road every day, and it seems like I'm missing potholes more and more. And I rode Buck Street today, and there's only like a small section that needs to be redone. You want to make the city more attractive to the visitors? You want to make it look more important to everybody else? And you remember, even though it's in the city of Vineland, you got a $1 million golf course where visitors are going to be going back and forth. Okay, and,
It's Mr. Carty's turn to speak. Please let him speak.
and, you know, for Buck Street, why don't you guys wait until the DOT local aid grant comes out, or another grant? Because honestly, Buck Street's been passed over for how many years, and look at the disaster that it is. And I'm not saying you got to pave all of it. Just go from High Street to 7th Street. That's all you got to do. I mean, we're using UEZ money. Why are we, and this is the main thoroughfare into our city. You know, we want to compete with Vineland, ride Vineland roads. None of their main thoroughfares are bumpy, and you got to dodge craters and holes. My next one, resolution number 4, $166,289 for the Millville UEZ Clean Team. I've never heard of it, and honestly, I don't see the need. I'd really like to know what the clean team's going to do, because the state gives us every year clean community money that's based off our recycling, and that money should be used to clean the streets, pick up trash, for the nonprofits to go for fundraising. I don't you know, to me, $166,000 for a clean team, which I don't even think we ever had, is a waste of UEZ funding, especially when we can use it to put towards a fire truck, an ambulance, police cars. UEZ money can be designated for that. The city of Camden just bought a brand new fire truck, and I forget how many millions, out of UEZ money. And the same thing with your emergency vehicles. So it's something to think about. You know, when I ride into a city, the first thing I look at is all the flags. Then I look at all the city properties. Then I look at all the city equipment. If I see dirty ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, and I know they're busy. If you don't have pride in your city equipment, then you'll never have pride in your city. Or old fire trucks, or whatever. I mean, $166,000 in UEZ funding can go a long way. Again, I'd like you to reconsider repaving a Buck Street and take that money for Broad Street. And on the resolution 4, I'd like you to reconsider it and think about what else you can do with that UEZ money. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Sherry McPherson from 209 Cottage Street. First of all, I want to thank those of you who came out to our community on August 13th for a site visit. This visit was a follow-up to the concerns we expressed at your meeting on August 6th. One outcome of your visit is that we now have a firewall of protective spacing around the perimeter of our community. Up until your visit, we have asked the developer, Barry Belot, for years to mow the grass, the tall grass that is on the perimeter of our community. But our concerns have been ignored for years. Tonight, while we are grateful for the field that was mowed, we are still concerned residents. We are worried about the deficiencies that still exist and are ongoing and the noncompliance with the site plan. Unfortunately, we have no leverage with the developer or the builder, but of course all of you do have that leverage, and we're hoping you consider using it tonight in our favor. We are concerned that you are going to release all but $100,000 of the existing bond. Instead, we are asking for you to vote tonight and consider leaving $250,000 in the bond. We are aware that this developer and builder are planning to add another phase of housing to our community. If they are not held accountable to the standards set forth in the site plan, then they are free to continue with the substandard workmanship our engineer documented and our neighbors are here tonight presenting. Please consider their concerns when you vote.
Good evening. My name is Judith Augustus. I'm a longtime resident of the Four Seasons. I live at 116 Wharton Street. I was disappointed with the decision to release the amount of the bond that was stated. In my opinion, it shows a lack of concern for the issues that have been voiced by those who have made purchases with the expectation that their homes and surrounding land would reflect what was promised. It sets a precedent that tells builders they can come into Millville and without impunity do shoddy and/or incomplete work that does not conform to their contract. Too often, decisions are based upon monetary concerns rather than what is right and just for the people who are affected by those decisions. I hope this is not the case here and that this decision was not made merely to avoid a lawsuit that may have been brought if the bond was not released by the deadline. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Chris Budd, 7 Torresdale Street. I would like to discuss the raveling of the asphalt on Torresdale. It was brought up to the tour last week and was determined that it's not that bad. Let me explain what a mess it is. It traps all the road dirt, grass clippings, which traps water and causes standing water. In turn, this standing water allows algae to grow and breeds mosquitoes. When I pull into my driveway, I track this nasty stuff up my driveway and into my garage. I have to power wash the driveway often. Would you allow this in front of your homes? What I'm asking is that the city hold $250,000 of the $900,000 bond you plan to release until mine and many of these other issues are addressed. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Connie Resnick. I'm from 40 Cottage Street in Four Seasons. The sidewalk and the apron of my driveway, which was on the list to be completed, was not. It continues to crumble, it continues to disintegrate, and it will continue to do so. I feel actually that it was a little bit of a bait and switch on a lot of this stuff, because what I was promised, what I paid for, is not what I got. What I got was poor quality and shoddy workmanship, and that is not what I paid for. Now, I ran into somebody taking pictures of my driveway yesterday from the city, and he told me that the city would be attending to some of the items that the developer and the builder, who the developer brings on, would not doing. And my concern here is that they have not lived up to their end of the deal. They have not fulfilled their obligation. They should not be rewarded by having a bond release. The bond is there to make sure that this information is done. The city approves the plan, it approves the developer, it approves everything, and is responsible for monitoring and oversight. And basically what I really would like to see is nothing released. But if you're going to be taking a look at your costs, I'm hoping that you're really considering everything that would be included in those costs in any project that you're going to do, which is going to be your hidden costs as well. And it's going to be everything in regard to anything that you have to reallocate as far as assets and resources, including if you have to take them off of other programs, there's a cost to that as well, just to address stuff that you should really not be having to address. I chose this city to move to live in, to become a part of. I don't want this city to be the city where bad players think they can come and operate without repercussions. We are the residents, we are the citizens of this city. We are the ones, have our back. We're the ones you should be fighting for. I don't want developers or anybody else coming in, swooping in by day, grabbing the money, and they're gone by night. And we have nothing to do. Everything that you do here today is going to inform that next phase of development. They've already proven they're not a good player. They're a bad player. They're going to continue with the shortcuts. They're going to continue with the poor quality, assuming the city can just come in. I really, really strongly urge you to take into consideration the need. Now, if there's some cost to the city for holding on to this bond that's making everybody anxious to release it, at the minimum, I think you really should keep $500,000. It's chunk change, 100,000, 200,000. 500,000, you don't know until the end of the day when you sit down and everything is completely done and done well, will you know what your true costs are. So I'm hoping that you will please take that into consideration. Don't sell yourself short, and hold on to as much as necessary. This is not going to bankrupt the man or his organization or the builder. And it is part of the oversight and monitoring that the city should be doing. So I appreciate it. You're listening to me. Thank you very much.
Hi, Scott Fishman from 61 Wharton Street. When we elect our public officials, there's certain things that we would expect, and that would be that you have our interests at heart for our safety and our well-being. And I also think you have a fiduciary obligation to us to protect us financially as well, with our homes, with our city infrastructure, our streets. Mr. Belot has a long track record, as most of you are aware, of not fulfilling his obligations. This goes back a number of years. It's not the first time we've met with you. We were here 2 years ago asking for basic things like street lights, street signs, that the streets be paved without manholes sticking up. I spoke to Commissioner Suey on the phone several times. He was very helpful back then, but this is a repeating cycle that we should not have to keep going through. You'd probably not you'd like to get home earlier at night from meetings and not listen to crowds like this with complaints like this. So what I'd like to see is, since the municipal land use law, specifically NJSA 40:55D53 states you can legally withhold up to 30% of that bond until everything is completed satisfactorily. So just like Connie said, you're saving us as taxpayers money in the future to repair a lot of these things that are not done properly right now. So the Band-Aids don't help. The Band-Aids get ripped off, and there's always something worse. There's more pus, more scab, other things under the Band-Aid. So we would ask that you fulfill your fiduciary responsibility to us, and I'm sure you're not going to want to hold that whole bond back, but you're legally entitled to hold 30% of it back. That's $300,000. So a lot of numbers in front of you today, but my personal preference is hold the whole bond, because this guy's a repeat offender. It's not the first time we've been here. I'm sure it won't be the last. So our three incumbents who are running again, we're watching very closely how you vote on this. And we hope you will be supporting us, because we'd be very happy to support you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom McGinty. I'm from Millville also. I'm glad Mr. Carty spoke up about item number 4. I haven't heard about the clean team either. Maybe I thought I looked at things and been checking things out. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Maybe I'm not, privy to where these things get named and put out there, and then we want to give $167,000 to them. I'm all for having clean community. Mr. Suey and I and other people from the city and city workers got out, and just as a small example, we went down and we cleaned the railroad tracks from Route 47 to out about 6th Street. People brought their own equipment. One guy brought his tractor. I'm not naming names purposely. People put time, effort, their money, their equipment out there. Did a good job. People appreciated it. And subsequently, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say street people. I'm not going to lump them in with the homeless or the unhoused or the addicts or the infirm or anybody else. But to spend $167,000 to clean up different areas of the city, you can't have street people who are out there thinking that it's fine for them to camp on city property, to camp on private property, to bring their trash from wherever they get their food and wherever you get their meals or whatever they steal or whatever they're bringing out there to burn. It's really weird, some of the things you see. We see a lot of kids' toys and Hot Wheels that they ride around in with the battery and all. I'm like, why do they bring these out here? This is crazy. What are they going to do with it? I found out they pull the motors out of them, they steal the batteries, take it all to the junkyard for 50 cents, something they get out of something that some poor kid has in his yard or is on his porch, and then it disappears and goes out there and gets stripped, burning. We're stuck with the plastic to pick up or, drag out of the woods or off private property. Like I said, I'm not picking on, people that have nowhere to go and whatever, but within days, somebody already started rebuilding their encampment out there that we tore out that had needles, drugs, prescription drugs, bed frames, you name it, they had it tied in so they could go in there and hide and shoot up their drugs. I've gone out there subsequently. Now the guy's right out in the open. You can watch him. He's shooting up right there in the same place we pulled the stuff out of. And I've talked to him ad nauseum, and we need to do something about that before we spend $167,000 to go clean something up, and in a week, that the purpose and the use of that money goes for bad because somebody comes right back in there and trashes the place. If you're not going to arrest them for littering and trespassing, then why spend the money? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is David Nocera. I'm at 44 Wharton Street in the Four Seasons. There's a lot of people that got up from our community, and they said a lot of different things about Mr. Bielak. And what I wanted to say is I just want to put my name to support what they said. I don't have anything new to add to what they just said, but I just wanted to be here present and to let you know that I agree with what they're saying. The other thing I wanted to add, and this may not have to do with what's going on with the bond, but I live on Wharton Street, and there's a little cul-de-sac at the end of that. And during the hunting season, there are people that come into our community and bring their car, and they just sit in that community, in that circle, and we don't know who these strangers are. And it's supposed to be a private community for them to, I know it's public streets that they can drive through there, that's not a problem. But when they're there for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours until the end of the evening, that's kind of worrisome. And then you hear gunshots, so they could shoot and do what they want, but they shouldn't be hunting in our little community. I have a dog, people walk their dogs in that area, people walk throughout our community. Sometimes, you hear a gunshot, heck, you're going to duck and you want to get the heck out of there. That's not the way we should be living. Again, the developer was asked to put up no hunting signs, and that hasn't happened. And I just wanted to make that clear that we really need that happening too. Thank you.
Good evening. Don Leahy, 43 Wharton Street, Four Seasons. I'd like to thank the commissioners for coming out on the tour on August 13th. The city reviewed and finalized the punch list that was dated April 25. There was a great deal of more issues on that punch list that wasn't submitted by the developer. Maintaining $100,000 for a bond that would be nowhere near enough to cost repairs that were not on the punch list. I know legally you have to release some of the money tonight because of the situation that the developer, but I'm requesting that the city keep at least 1/3, which is $300,000 or more of the bond to cover any additional costs of repairs that weren't on the punch list from the April 25 list. Thank you.
Seeing no one else, I will close public comment on agenda items only. Presentations, please.
Discussion from engineering regarding the bond reduction for Four Seasons Phase 2D.
So before we get started, can we talk to the public that's here before we start?
Go ahead,
Is that
Wayne.
okay? I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and I appreciate all your concerns and comments for your homes and your residences and what you're experiencing out there. I'm Wayne Johnson. I'm the city engineer. When I first came back here in 2022, one of my main first projects was to come out to Four Seasons and whip that project back into shape. When I got there, things were a disaster. Torresdale was like the ocean. There were fire hydrants that were out of plumb, sewer lines clogged up, storm lines clogged up. Everything was a mess. We've gone to battle with this contractor for years to get things to where they're at today. I know a lot of you may not be happy with that, but we've worked hard, we've fought and argued, and we went in the trenches with this guy to get where we're at today. The bond, I hear a lot of numbers thrown around. The bond isn't just for, trees or concrete sidewalks. It's for the serious infrastructure, the land clearing, the sewer mains, the water mains, the stormwater basins, stormwater lines in the street. So there's a lot more to be considered in the bond analysis than just looking at a sidewalk or ADA ramp. Now, ADA compliance is something we take very seriously here at the city. I have a disabled son, so that makes me more sympathetic to that. We had this guy rip out ramps 3 times to get them right. If there's an issue you guys know about we didn't see, we'll look at it. But I wanted to make you aware of some of the history. Michelle's done an excellent job on a PowerPoint, to kind of show you the history. But I heard somebody say, you're the residents of the city. We really work for you. We don't work for Barry Belot. We fight with him, we argue with him all day long, but we work for you. We want to make sure that your community is safe for everybody. We don't want to leave anything that's a hazard. Public safety is paramount in everything we do. So I just wanted to let you know that before we get started with our presentation. But thank you again for all your comments. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Nosehalf, Assistant Municipal Engineer for the City of Millville. This is the overall site that's been built to date. This is the whole entire development at this point. Specifically, Phase 2D is where we're in discussion about as it relates to the bond reduction. Just to start off with, the categories of the bond and what those items are that are included in the bond that we have gotten and we've received, and the items that are in question that we can remediate. So the categories are soil erosion and sediment control, storm sewer, sanitary sewer, water, concrete curbing and pavement, landscaping and lighting, and finally survey.
Go ahead. Vice Mayor, just turn off some lights for us.
Got it. So first up, soil erosion and sediment control. This is in order of how they're listed on the bond and the prices and quantities. I apologize, it is small. I tried to get as much information in here as possible. Stone net protection. We have construction entrance and silt fence. Those are just rudimentary items for construction and those costs associated with them. For storm sewer, we have various sizes, 15, 18, 21, and 36-inch RCP, reinforced concrete pipe. We have type B inlets with curb head pieces and type A inlets that are flush to the ground. Sanitary sewer that is covered under the bond is 4-foot sanitary manholes, 8-inch PVC sanitary laterals, and 4-inch PVC sanitary laterals as well. For water, we have 8-inch sealed DIP water main, 6-inch valve boxes, and 1-inch diameter HDPE pipes.
Michelle, could I interrupt you for a minute?
Absolutely.
I think this is important to note that these numbers are so old, this bond has been in place for so long, you'll see the numbers for things look low. That's why they're low. It's so old. The prices have escalated so high, you know, in recent years with supply chain issues. Like we're paying like $67 a foot for C900 8-inch water main. They have $40 a foot for ductile iron in here. So that's the difference in the numbers why it seems low. I just thought that was something to, point out. Sorry, Michelle.
No, you're fine. No, it's a great point.
What's that?
For concrete curbing and pavement, we have concrete vertical curb. We have our surface course asphalt, base course asphalt, our sub-base DGA type I-5, 4-inch thick concrete sidewalks, 6-inch thick concrete driveway aprons, and we have ADA ramps. There's 4 in Phase 2D. Landscaping and lighting is next. Deciduous trees, large evergreen trees, small evergreen trees, shrubs, understory trees, and lastly, a light fixture. And finally, we have our survey, which includes monuments and the different outbounds and right-of-ways that would be documented and submitted to the city by ASBILT. So the performance bond total, what we're looking at with all these items added up, the subtotal is $854,011. When you add 20% contingency for bonding requirements, you're adding an additional $170,802.20. So the total bond amount that we have on file with the city for this Phase 2D development is $1,024,813.20. A 2-year maintenance bond will be posted once this project is closed out, and that total is based off of the performance bond amount, 15% of that, which the performance bond, the maintenance bond is $153,721.98, and that lasts for 2 years, and that could be used for maintenance items such as concrete, asphalt, if any infrastructure utility in terms of stormwater, water, sewer, were to expire, service life, trees, lighting, anything that's in the bond, anything that has a service life that has failed within 2 years.
Could I interrupt you with a question here?
Absolutely.
So you have, when you said the performance bond is closed out, then you have the maintenance bond.
Correct.
So if we don't close out the entire performance bond, are you allowed to cause them to post a maintenance bond?
No, sir.
So you can't have part of the performance bond and require them to post a maintenance bond, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you have to close out performance bond, and then that triggers a 2-year maintenance.
Thank you.
Per land use law. So some of the backstory of Torresdale Street, as Wayne had mentioned prior, it was a bit of a nightmare to get the developer back to snuff and reinstate what was supposed to be installed. So the developer came to us, said, look what we did it, and it wasn't good at all, to put it politely. So the initial roadway construction of Torresdale Street, there was significant ponding. You can see on the right-hand side of the photo, I apologize, it's small, as large as I can get it. The match-in pavement does not meet uneven pavement, ponding. It did, in fact, look like an ocean. Waves, I think I actually caught air when I went out to inspect, not going very fast. Horrible patching. This was their final product, which was obviously unacceptable to the city. We requested them to do reconstruction and repaving, and that was a huge undertaking by the developer, and it took a lot of teeth pulling on our department and our staff to get this done and accomplished. It required a lot of trench boxes out, repaving and regrading the base course down to DGA, taking it down to subsurface. Multiple spots were boxed out where you couldn't salvage with a mill machine. It just had to be boxed out and reconstructed. The base paving was installed. This looks a heck of a lot better than what it was in that first picture, despite the size. This is more acceptable base paving, and you can see that the water valves and the manhole are at a reasonable height at and around the base paving before surface was applied. This is base paving, another shot down the road, significantly more acceptable than what we had prior. Keying in, and this was the final paving match line, much like that first photo that was shown. It's at grade, the manholes are at grade, valve boxes are all at grade, and significant reduction in ponding on the curb lines. So the incorrect items in Phase 2D are as follows that were corrected. There were crooked inlets, obviously. Crooked fire hydrants, also obviously. Leaking water services, which were unacceptable, that had to get fixed. That also required subsurface water removal, a Vector truck to come in and remove the high volumes of water that were out there due to environmental constraints and also water main utility leaks. Manholes were above grade, significantly higher than what base paving and surface paving would require. Broken and poor condition curbing, Belgian block specifically, there was also missing grout throughout the project. Non-compliant ADA ramps and missing curbs. Non-compliant ADA ramps that had both Belgian block and concrete curbing, which is not compliant for ADA, pick one, and they also weren't flush with the ground. There were collapsed water pipes with no stiffeners, and this was a repair of one of those connections properly fixed, which you shouldn't have a repair when you're out there, at least not every single service. There were crooked light posts, and they were the incorrect type. I think that's a big problem. Not only that, it wouldn't turn on. The electric was hanging outside of the light, so you could flip the switch as much as you wanted, nothing would happen. And to mention on the lighting, we did work diligently with the developer in the future phase. They proposed 9 lights, and we worked with ACE to have them install or propose 21 of those lights. So they have moved forward with lighting after that very long uphill battle with lighting. So they have made well on their word on Phase 3. Items that were recently corrected in the past, let me say 2 months? 2 months. Cottage Street, a spalled and cracked sidewalk was removed and replaced. This is obviously a bad picture before. This is final install of that concrete. We're satisfied with the job that they've done. They corrected ADA compliant handicap ramps along Bustleton and Cottage Street. Like Wayne said, they had to replace these 3 times. Unacceptable that it had to be done 3 times, but acceptable as it is installed now. Corrected ADA handicap ramps along Bustleton and College. Again, that's just another example of a compliant handicap ramp. They uncovered water valves that were not set at grade. They melted out the asphalt, cut around them, and made them exposed for our utility. They've repaired driveway aprons and curbing. They complied with city-required hydrants for sorts quick connections throughout the project that were not the case. Replaced curb and missing grout. The outstanding items that we have currently now that we're basing this bond reduction on and the retainage of the bond are as follows. Spalled concrete pads at 40 and 52 Cottage Street, just an example of the stretch. This is at 40 Cottage Street, spalled concrete along the sidewalk. Cracked and spalled concrete pads at 52 Cottage. You can see a crack in that picture, vaguely. I apologize for the small picture. And then there are dead trees throughout Phase 2D. It's hard to see. It's in line with the house, but we do have some dead trees throughout the project. So the cost estimate of the outstanding bonded items based off of the outdated, to be mindful of, outdated bonding prices are as follows. Item number 20, 4-inch concrete sidewalk, 160 square feet at $10 a square foot, estimated cost $1,600. Item number 23, deciduous trees, 1 at $300, $300 total. Item 24, large evergreen trees, 1 at $99, total of $99. Item 25, small evergreen trees, 6 at $30 each with a total of $180. And finally, item number 27, understory trees with 2 at $15 a piece, totaling $30. 1.36% of the concrete sidewalk remaining out of the 11,760 square feet total. That is what's in our punch list. It's a very small amount that needs to be addressed according to our punch list and our walkthrough inspections. 100% of the trees are being considered as there's only 10 proposed, so we're considering them as that amount into our retainage. The total cost of the outstanding items, $2,209, based off of those outdated prices. The original bond amount, as we all know, $1,024,813.20. We were requesting a reduction of $924,813.20 with a remaining balance of $100,000. The percentage of work remaining versus the ultimate balance is 2.21%, which is why the number is so low, keeping in mind outdated prices, but the work that has been completed up to this point has been satisfactory, and the work that remains out is a very small portion of what was involved. Per municipal land use law requirements, however, 40:55D 53E1 states, and I will spare you, it's at the bottom unless you want me to read it, I can. The takeaway is that 30% of the bond may be retained. That dollar amount is $307,443.96, which is a significant amount compared to the $2,200 dollar amount. So that is an item that we wanted to highlight. You can retain 30%.
Is that current, Michelle?
Yes, that would be the number at 30%. We're requesting $100,000 for under $2,500 of work. Items not covered by bond, driveways behind the sidewalk. So anything towards the house, behind the sidewalk, up to the house, those driveway portions are not covered under the bond. It's only city right-of-way, so anything from that line forward or down in that photo is covered by the bond. There are exposed electrical wires governed by ACE and BPU. My office will reach out to Atlantic City Electric if nobody on behalf of the city has done so, and get in communication with that contact and see what can be done about this. This is unacceptable, however, it is not a bonded item. Lastly, there's overgrown weeds at the limits of paving on Cottage Street, and I know some of the residents had mentioned the overgrown weeds. I believe this is something that city code enforcement can take over and cite the developer. We do not want to cite our residents for this. This is not a resident or HOA-specific issue. We want to make sure that this is taken care of and kept up.
And that's not a common area, that's just a buildable property that will be built on later.
This is the end of Phase 2D and future Phase 3 that's been approved for planning, from Planning Board. Yeah, this is developer land, not HOA or resident owned.
So, just going back to coding, for how far back are they supposed to enforce it?
As far back as the property line
The
is.
entire part of the phase? should be
However,
cut?
code enforcement enforces weeds and uncut grass. However, I'm not knowledgeable on the
I
code
mean, we'll have to
enforcement
talk
end.
later, but it's undeveloped land, the way I'm looking at it. If you're gonna tell them they have to cut 30 acres, I don't know.
But it's cleared
I
land,
can see
isn't
a
it?
borderline being set.
They said they're cut back 30 feet.
30 feet? Thank you.
Yeah, I could see a borderline being set, but like Commissioner Sui said, not, clear at all.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's all that we have in a nutshell. I know it doesn't do the full story justice, but that's where we've come. It doesn't give testament to our office and the amount of correspondence and coordination with the developer and Ryan Holmes, Mr. Belot. So try to keep it as short and sweet as possible without drilling this home, but that's where we're at. If you have any questions, obviously we're here, so feel free to ask.
I just want to reiterate one more time. So if we keep $100,000
Mm-hmm.
for the bond, they still don't have to post a maintenance bond. And if we keep $300,000 for a bond, they still don't have to post a maintenance bond.
Correct. Until
So
the
if-
performance bond is released, they do not have obligation for a maintenance bond.
Okay, so, and it's just kind of related. So how much bond are they posting for the next phase? Do we know that yet?
We haven't received that yet, and they can't move forward.
I'm sorry, Michelle,
Yeah.
Commissioner, I did an estimate on that over a year ago.
Yeah.
It was just under $3 million for the next phase. So that's considerably higher, big difference in time between Phase 2D and the next phase. And now prices have escalated again, but, we already have our estimate done, and they're going to post that bond.
One other question, while I'm thinking about it. So it took these guys forever to get this done, up to where it is now. And I'm supposing we didn't go after the bond because that's difficult to do legally? Not difficult to do legally?
Well, it's expensive, it's time-consuming, and I think what you want is you want to get the developer to actually fix the problem, which I think you were successful in doing, at least as to the things that Michelle's placed on the record.
If I may, the only time I've ever had to call a bond on a developer was when they defaulted, like a bankruptcy situation. We called the bond. The bonding company hired another contractor to come in and finish the project. And we haven't seen that kind of, issue there. They're always working. Their work may not have been what we liked, but they were always working. They didn't walk away from the job. So it'd be kind of hard to call the bond, while they're moving forward, in my opinion, anyway.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a question you're going to be able to answer. The law states that we can withhold 30% of the original bond, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because of the items that still need to be repaired are so low, that's why it's being requested only to withhold 100.
But they're low compared to old, far times
Correct.
back.
I get that.
Yes.
So basically, say if we wanted to do, say, 25% of the bond, just because of the items are significantly lower than that, does the city face any repercussions if we decide to go with 25%?
Well, if I may speak freely, Commissioner, if I were to change it at all, and I'm not saying we should change it, I would go to the 30%, not go in between. Because municipal land use law says 30%.
So if we went to the 30%, it's something that, the developer...
30% is $307,443 in today's money.
That could open the city up to, legal ramifications with the developer because of the low amount of work left to be done.
But the other problem is that the engineer has already issued his recommendation in a report. So if we do something that deviates from that, we're deviating from the recommendation of our own engineer.
Okay.
And I think that's something the court would assess in deciding whether or not to make us pay attorney's fees, among other things.
Okay. Thank you.
No comment.
Can I ask a question?
No, there's.
No, this is a presentation only, sir.
Before you step down, I just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for attending a meeting that wasn't really planned well in advance and putting this presentation together. Engineering always does a great job for the city.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate that.
Any further comments, commissioners?
Basically, what I'm hearing here is the residents want more. Like I wanted less years ago when this was first done, and the builder was supposed to pay for all the utilities to go past my house and down Cedar Street out to Four Seasons. And we all had to come as residents and fight that, and we won. Because he changed his mind after he got the city's okay. But basically what I'm seeing here is we're being asked to vote on $100,000, reducing to $100,000. I can see we need some kind of legal, I don't know, Brock, hold on clearing up the wild growth, I'll call it, around the facility.
Well, that's something to.
Well, in terms of code enforcement, that really can be done. I mean, if there were no bond, he's liable for a code violation
So we
like
can
any
send
other
our guys out
property
there
owner.
and
And the other thing, I think I may have heard someone say, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but to the extent that he has not complied with the site plan, he can be pursued legally by the code enforcement or the zoning officer for that, for not complying with the site plan, if that's in fact true. And that can go to municipal court, that can go to Superior Court. It really has nothing to do with the bond.
Any further comments, commissioners?
No, thank you.
Thank you, engineering, for the presentation.
Thanks.
Bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second motion.
Motion second on payment of bills. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes. Petitions and letters.
We need a motion to receive and file a letter from Atlantic City Electric regarding pruning and removal of trees around electrical distribution facilities.
Make a motion?
Second?
We have motion and second on petition and letter item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes. Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Hewitt, go ahead.
Yes, I'll be short. We have 2 resolutions on tonight, which is a resolution for repairing our new tower truck and a resolution for repairing one of our fire engines. These are both repairs. These are both covered pretty much by insurance. I just wanted to let you know in case anybody had any questions on those resolutions, so we can get moving and get these trucks back up to full potential. With that, progress.
With Commissioner Hewitt, regarding the tower truck, is that repairs being done in the state of New Jersey, or?
No, it's not. It's back out to the factory, correct, Chief? Tower at the factory.
Understood.
Engine will be done here.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Hewitt.
Yes.
Commissioner Sui.
Sure. I'll touch on UEZ update, and then when we get to the specific resolutions, I'll comment on those. So the UEZ team is working hard to get up to speed with all things UEZ. The marketing application, which we have discussed before, is awaiting state approval. Last week, Clean Team and repaving with Buck Street applications were both approved at the joint Vineland Millville UEZ Board and on the agenda for the Commission's consideration tonight. I will mention this. When we do UEZ projects and do UEZ things, the idea is to regenerate money in the UEZ zone. So if you're doing an area where businesses are planned, where businesses exist, when you receive that sales tax, that regenerates the money in the UEZ zone. So if we spend it where there aren't businesses, then we're not going to regenerate that money. So keep that in mind, and I'll comment more on that later. And then let me get on to the clean team a little bit here. The clean team will be comprised of a two-man crew that will be able to clean up anything along the UEZ zone areas, and this includes trash, shopping carts, bulk items, brush, weeds, etc. They will work under the department of under the direction of the Parks Department. So keep this in mind also. Now, we have Clean Communities money. We haven't spent any on a cleanup in a long time. But what this allows is, with the Clean Communities money, we can use pretty much anywhere. So if we use UEZ money to clean up the UEZ zone, that opens up more money to clean up other areas of the city. Now, we all know there are plenty of dirty areas in the city, and we could just let them go because we can't enforce this or can't enforce that, or we can clean them and attempt to keep them clean. You guys live in a great neighborhood. I don't see trash in your neighborhood. And I want to get this city cleaned up. I've been working diligently to do that. In fact, when Mr. McGinney left, stayed when we volunteered to do that. So this isn't to replace Clean Communities. This is to add to Clean Communities, create a synergistic relationship so that more can be done, and the money that's generated, and again, regenerate money in the UEZ zone. Now, when I had the opportunity to visit Austin, Texas, which was, I haven't been there for a while, but it was very, very touristy, right? Very great place to visit, wonderful place. They had these guys in yellow shirts that were cleaning up the sidewalk. So I got curious. I said, what's going on with these guys in the yellow shirts? I asked a couple of business owners, and they were like, oh, well, they clean up our area. Now, down there, they pay for that. The business owners pay for that. Here, kind of the same thing, except UEZ money will pay for that. So that kind of keeps the UEZ clean. That's one of the main complaints we hear. Things aren't clean. Things are dirty. Clean up the town. So this is an attempt to do that. We had some other ideas for UEZ stuff, which I'll get into later. Now, the repaving of Buck Street will be the section between Broad and Main. It'll be milled, paved, curbs and sidewalks will be repaired where needed. Again, to encourage development in that area, to regenerate money coming into that area. The reason that we didn't choose High Street is because we have work coming up on High Street from a state grant that will provide bump outs for pedestrian safety. So it made no sense to do High Street first, because then we'd be tearing it up to do the bump outs. So that makes no sense to do that first. So we do this with this and work our way around. And again, all to get reinvestment, money spent in the UEZ zone. Now keep in mind that we've expanded the UEZ zone a significant amount. So as we do this, we can move down the UEZ zone. Hopefully whoever's on the next commission will do that and keep taking care of stuff like that. So that's the goal here. All right, so at the last committee, downtown improvements at the last commission meeting were put out to bid, and we're hoping to award that contract by the end of October. That includes sidewalks and stuff on High Street. We already started some of it, Buck Street, Sassafras, to get that all done. The UEZ Police Program update. So as you recall, we had quite a debate on use of police for UEZ money for use of police. So far in June and July, there were 252 hours of extra patrols in the UEZ zone. There were 340 service calls generated, 1 handgun seized during these 2 months. Now, with this last application, we are tied down to certain hours due to the way that the application was written to the state. And I'm looking to loosen these time frames up somewhat so that we can cover more hours. And if we can cover more hours, as it stands now, we either use the police department or the sheriff's department. So if we open this up more, we'll be able to use both. And if we do that, I think we'll end up with a safer downtown area without an increased cost on our property taxes. So let me mention one other thing about street paving. We were previously told that we couldn't pave streets with UEZ money. Well, that turned out to be false. When we took it in-house, we started doing some research. We found out we could. In fact, Bridgeton put in for a grant to do it. There's another town that put it, I can't remember if it was Camden or somewhere else, a huge amount of money for street paving. And it's unfortunate that we didn't do this earlier, but we were limited by the information that we obtained. Very unfortunate. Now, I mentioned the taxes because, let me tie this into all this. We received the notice that health benefits are going to go up 37%. So to give you an idea, if the health costs in the month of July were $317,232 for our employees. Of that, the city paid $246,000, 694 cents, and the employee cost was $70,000. So if they go up to 36 cents, you're looking at an increase of about $1,095,000. So, myself and the mayor have a meeting set up tomorrow to discuss with an outside agency to see if we can find other ways to get this cost down, and it would be with an equivalent program, but we're going to explore it. That amount works out to $112 on a $150,000 house. That's how much that costs just for the increase in benefits told to us by the state. So it's imperative that we offset costs with UEZ money that would normally go to the taxpayer to make up for some of this loss. Well, that's that. All right, parks update. We've been trying to get all the grass cut on city-owned properties. Last week, we were thrown a curveball. Board of Education informed us that boxes placed in A Hall at Memorial would need to be moved because of this stuff going on with Lakeside Middle School not being able to open due to some structural problems.
Holly Heights.
Or Holly Heights, I'm sorry. Holly Heights. Lakeside's always stuck in my mind for some reason. So some of those classes will be moved to Memorial, required us to move the boxes. So I want to thank the men and women of the Parks Department for moving these boxes again. And it was to work with Commissioner Watson to get that stuff done. Upcoming events, this Friday will be our last fourth Friday of the year. Hopefully we'll see everyone from out to Buck Park from 5 to 8. On Saturday, August 30th, we'll hold our annual Holly City Fest, which will take place on High Street from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We currently have 75 vendors, and we are still accepting applications. So reach out to the Recreation Department if you're interested. There'll be plenty of things to do there on that event with 75 vendors. Looking at September, we have our annual car show coming up on Saturday, September 13th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So far, we have 70 cars registered. Once again, reach out to the Recreation Department to get signed up. And remember that the first 100 cars to register get a free T-shirt. And the number to reach out with is 856-825-7000, extension 7394. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sui, for that well-depth inverse update for everybody. Commissioner Cossman, go ahead.
Okay, just a quick report from Streets and Roads. They're currently working on Wade Boulevard to abate that flooding problem issue. They're making great progress in this completion by sometimes next week. All-time brush collection, everybody wants to know. Residents are able to put their brush out for collection. Streets and Roads will begin collecting September the 2nd. They will make one pass through the city. Loose leaves collection will begin November the 1st. Residents can place these loose leaves out for collection from November 1st to December the 31st. And quick thank you to the Tiger Sharks who did their second litter pickup on Adopt a Road program this Saturday. They picked up over 30 bags. They're a great group of kids, and I want to say thank you. Anyone interested in doing Adopt a Road or Adopt Your Neighborhood, give us a call at 825-7000 and ask 7390. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cossman. Vice Mayor Watson.
Are we allowed to ask questions of the agenda before we get into this? For the clean team, is that 2 additional personnel for parks, or is that?
It's 2 additional personnel coming out of the UEZ, and keep in mind, we have to, when we buy something, such as a fire truck or a police car or whatever, we have to use that in the UEZ zone. We're not permitted to use it anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Some cities have much bigger UEZ zones, so yes. So that will be 2 additional people.
40 hours a week?
I think it's part-time. I don't think it's full. I can't remember off the top of my head.
For the 167, is that like just for the year, or is that?
That's for the, yeah, for the year.
Till it runs out?
Well, or runs out.
Like
but
$18?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a quick.
but it's basically for the year. I can get you more information if you want.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thank you to the Parks Department for moving those records for us. I asked Sewer, and they were more than happy to help.
Yep.
But it was kind of a big unexpected lift, so thank you for your department. I have had conversations about trying to move forward to trying to get some of those records out. Some of those records are ready to destroy.
Correct.
But there's just certain things that we have to follow before we do. On tonight's agenda, we have the Huber sole source resolution. It's based on the pilot study that we recently completed at the wastewater treatment plant. The objective of this equipment was to increase the thickened sludge to a higher percent solids. Our current 30-year-old gravity belt thickeners produce 1 to 1.5% solids. The pilot study gave us 5% solids, so big increase. Another benefit to the Huber equipment, it was self-contained, again reducing odors and providing a safer environment for our operators. Had a small footprint, better overall. Another big thing for this, it also had low maintenance costs, less moving machinery. For the force main install at Ireland Avenue Pump Station, we've received a few calls questioning the lateral repairs questioning the lateral repairs in the area, and that was caused by the new force main install. So you can't tie a gravity lateral into a force main, so laterals were replaced and redirected to the nearest gravity line. For Fulton, the engineering department is working with South State to expedite the paving on Fulton from those repairs on the force main. Water department sent me an email today saying that the South 15th Street water main project was complete. Water and bacteria samples were negative. And thank you again for engineering, for all their hard work and meeting us out there at Four Seasons, all the time spent this week trying to put the project together. Thank you so much. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Thank you, Vice Mayor Watson. There will be a zoning board meeting with multiple agenda items on it. It will take place on Thursday, September 4th at 6:00 p.m. located here in the chambers. Planning board will then take place on Monday, September 8th at 6:30. I'd like to congratulate, you'll see on the agenda tonight, we are appointing a brand new CFO to start. I would like to thank Susan for all her hard work here in the city of Millville as our CFO. I hope she enjoys the best of whatever her next chapter in her life brings to herself and her family. Public Affairs Office is working like a well-oiled machine. I always get updates from the phone, especially emails from Sean Frio, my business manager on the 5th floor, and he shared a very enlightening issue that was taken care of from the employees of Public Affairs Office of a resident here in the city of Millville, and it truly warmed my heart to see a progress of efficiency working well in Public Affairs Office, and the whole team there doing a great job every single day in whatever issues arise for that department. So thank you to all my employees in that specific department. Ordinances in the second reading.
Ordinance for second reading, item number 1, an ordinance amending Millville Code Chapter 30, Land Use and Development Regulations to permit Class 5 cannabis retailer and Class 6 cannabis delivery licensed facilities in certain zoning districts within the city.
Move the ordinance on second reading.
Second motion.
We have a motion and second on ordinance item number 1 in second reading. I will now open public hearing on this ordinance. If anybody from the public would like to comment on this ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name, address your concerns. Please limit those concerns to approximately 5 minutes. Seeing no one, I will close public hearing. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Abstain.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Ordinance for second reading, item number 2, an ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Millville, motor vehicle and traffic regulations, parking reserved for handicapped persons, 230 South 3rd Street.
Make motion?
Second.
We have motion second on ordinance in the second reading, item number 2. I'll now open up public hearing on this. If anybody from the public would like to comment, please come to the podium. Seeing that, I will close public hearing. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Ordinance for second reading, item number 3, an ordinance approving and authorizing an application to the Cumberland County Roadway Department for Millville Girls Softball League to hold a coin drop on September 27 and 28, 2025 at the intersections of Buckshootum and Cedarville Road.
Make a motion?
Second.
We have motion and second for ordinance in the second reading, item number 3. I now open up public hearing on this ordinance. If anybody from the public would like to comment. Seeing that, I will close public hearing. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes. Seeing no ordinance in the first reading, resolutions, please.
Resolution item number 1, we need a motion to remove resolution approving requests for performance guarantee reduction for Regency Development Properties LLC, Four Seasons Phase 2D, as submitted by the engineer in compliance with NJSA 40:55D-53 from the table.
Make motion?
Second motion.
We have motion and second to remove the request for performance guarantee reduction of residency development properties from the table. Roll call, please.
No comment. please.
Comment, please.
All right, I will tell you this. There are things that are legal, things that are moral. I have all the utmost confidence in the world in our engineering department. We have some great engineers up there. In fact, almost everybody up there is an engineer except for the inspector. However, I don't like what's been going on at Four Seasons, and I know this. I wasn't elected and given a vote for somebody to tell me I had to do something. So I'm going to vote no against taking this off the table. My fellow commissioners can certainly do what they want. And I've been sued since I've been up here 6 times for some of the most stupidest stuff you ever saw. Complaints filed against me for laughing, joking, cussing. It never ends. Lawsuits never ends. I don't care what we do up here. So I will vote accordingly.
If I may.
Go ahead.
I have some, I still have questions. I'm listening to our attorney, I'm listening to the engineers. I have full faith in both engineering and the attorney. But I've seen a lot. A lot possibly would have affected me living out there on Cedar Street towards the Blinker from the inception of the Four Seasons. I would like to dig as deep as we can dig to get all the answers before we vote on this. So my vote will, for removing it, will show my thoughts.
Roll call for removing it from table, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
No.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
No.
Commissioner Sui?
No.
Mayor Romanek?
No.
Resolution item number 2, a resolution appointing chief financial officer.
Make motion?
Second motion.
We have motion second on resolution item number 2. Any comments? I like poaching. Let me just say that. So, good job.
Well, I believe she starts Monday, so
Okay.
the next meeting we'll congratulate her in her position and go from there.
I've had the opportunity to meet her. I think she'll do
We're
well.
excited to have her. that's for
We
sure.
are excited to have her,
Yeah.
yes.
So, okay. Well, it's a September meeting. We'll say exactly what exactly happened. So, but
Yeah, you poacher.
yes, I like poaching. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 3, resolution authorizing the execution of an application to the NJ Urban Enterprise Zone Authority for first-generation urban enterprise zone assistant funds in the amount of $693,658 to fund the Millville UEZ repaving of Buck Street.
Make motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 3. Any comments?
I guess I kind of said it already after I said I wouldn't, but no point in repeating it.
And as far as I'm concerned, we are making great advantage of UEZ funds for the safety of the city, and hopefully we're going to build that, like the commissioner said. And I have dug into the UEZ funds, and I know that it's to our benefit to keep it within the zone, spending this kind of money.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 4, resolution authorizing the execution of an application to the NJ Urban Enterprise Zone Authority for first-generation urban enterprise zone assistant funds in the amount of $166,289 to fund the Millville UEZ Clean Team Project.
I make a motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 4. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 5.
You're right sometimes. Perfect timing.
That is perfect timing.
Resolution approving shared services agreement with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority.
Make a motion, and with that, I have certification of funds for the $1,338,438.72 from Susan Quinone as Chief Exec Financial Officer.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 5. Any comments?
Yes, ACUA has been a great partner, good shared service. We evaluated this multiple times in the past couple of years, and this is the best route for the city of Millville. Recycling coordinator has good relationship with ACUA and works well with them. They're always fast to respond. Thank you for Commissioner Casabun to have me, keep me included with those meetings.
I've learned a lot. I've
along
learned
with
a lot. Yeah, and I have to say that our coordinator has done his due diligence in getting the best price, and they are very good to work with, yes.
And also thank you to our business administrator and Brock, for attending those meetings, putting in their input. They're valuable resources to the city.
Yeah, I think we all learned our lesson collectively when we tried to learn about ACUA and learn about other entities that handle municipalities' trash and that they don't exist. So I'm appreciative of Atlantic County Utilities Authority. I have had the opportunity to meet with them and learn from them, especially from our employees that have known a great deal about ACUA. So roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 6, resolution authorizing adjustment to the tax and utility records.
Make motion.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 6. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 7, resolution awarding a purchase order for the Pearson Forster repairs to fire and safety in the amount not to exceed $386,788.
Make motion, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $386,788, signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 7. Any comments?
Yes, this is to repair and get our new tower back in service and serving the residents of the city.
I hate to ask, but how long is this expected to take?
Year and a half, 2 years? No?
My earliest estimates would be March or April of '26 when we get back.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I was cringing for 27, but okay. Thank you, Chief. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 8, resolution awarding a purchase order for the Engine 34 repairs to Lee's Emergency Equipment in the amount not to exceed $40,272.
Make motion, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $40,272, signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 8. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Resolution item number 9, resolution designating Huber Technology as the sole source supplier of the biosolids thickening system at the Millville wastewater treatment plant.
Make motion.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 9. Any comments?
Yes, engineering department invited me down to the wastewater treatment plant, so thank you for that. It was a nice pilot study and good results, and it seems like a good unit. Hopefully we have a lot of good luck with it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes. New business, seeing none. We have now reached the public portion of our meeting. Anybody from the comment section, we have now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns. Please limit your concerns and your comments to approximately 5 minutes. Thank you.
Point of clarification, please. Resolution item 1 is tabled again?
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I have a question on two things that I saw. One, you had mentioned on the cement portion, it said surface, 2 inches?
For asphalt?
Cement, was that the cement portion?
No, there is no surface course.
Okay, because I thought it's concrete, okay, asphalt. My other question is related to the recommendation that the engineering department made that you said had to be adhered to. So I noticed that it was estimated cost. So is the final recommendation including replacement cost or actual costs? And in other words, are you stuck with the estimated cost? Can you revise it to include the difference between what it was estimated at the time and your replacement costs, or what will your actual costs will be, and up it?
If I may, our engineering estimate of the outstanding work, even with the old dollars from the original bond, was so low, if we quadrupled it, it would still be low to $100,000. So, if you change it, it would still be low, if that's what you're asking.
Right, so if you had to, basically, if you're going out now and you have to use current costs in order to do the replacement, you can get those current costs. Can you update the recommendation to the city, which will increase the 100,000? In order to do the replacement cost.
We do, right, use current costs, but I guess the point would be, if it was 2,000 and we made it 8,000, it's still low compared to the amount we're holding, 100,000.
Brock, do you have comment?
We can redo the number. if needed,
So I think the engineer is saying that you can
yeah. Right,
amend the cost estimate.
right.
And therefore, then you can have the contingency, up the contingency to cover it. I'm just saying that if you're using the old numbers, the 100,000, you're saying isn't even going to, work with you with contingency, or you're not sure, and you can amend it, then I would hope maybe to take a look at that.
Sure, we'll be thoroughly reviewing everything, based on, what happened today.
Rick Cobb, Millville. Just a quick update for the SOA contract, because it's we forgot about that. We're now almost up to 20 months without a contract, 85 weeks and 595 days. That's a lot of workers in our city that's going without a contract now for that long.
Good evening, commissioners and ladies and gentlemen who are here this evening. My name is David Ennis, and I am a resident of Millville, always proud to say born in the city of Millville. I grew up in Haleyville, and the biggest attraction in Haleyville was a stoplight. And I remember watching that stoplight, and there was a sign that said, Millville 12 miles north. Bridgeton, 21 miles west. Morristown, 3 miles east. Port Norris, 3 miles north. South. None of those areas did nothing for me, but Millville has always been an attraction. I love this city. I'm here tonight because it's risky. Trust me, I had to really pray about whether I wanted to come here tonight, because it's always risky when you become a public voice. I want to first of all encourage the commissioners. I've sat where you're sitting. I sat there for 4 years. It's never easy when you're trying to create segues and you're trying to get things done. It's not easy. It comes with a cost. What I want to recommend and suggest to those of you who are running in the upcoming election, I want you to seriously think about something because it's going to make all the difference in the world. Why are you running? I know it sounds like a stupid question, but it matters. When I ran on the premise of rebuilding, reclaiming, and restoring. I wanted to reclaim because during the time I ran, it kind of tailgated on a lot of criminal activity. My brother got shot and killed right in this city, in his own yard, minding his own business. I fought crime. Some of you don't even know. I fought it so hard until my life was threatened. The Millville police actually escorted me home from my church for 2 weeks because the word was, we're going to get rid of Pastor Ennis. That didn't bother me because I know the Bible says it is appointed unto man once to die. So we're all going to leave here. I wasn't intimidated about that. What I'm trying to get across to you, it's risky when you get involved in community and communities such as the city of Millville. We had a shooting a few days ago. Right in the broad daylight, man got shot. Whoever thought that would happen in the city of Millville? I remember I told Jim Quinn in 2005, I says, Jim, I had a bad dream that Millville became a baby Camden city. And I'll never forget it. Jim fell back in his chair and he laughed. He laughed because he could not even begin to comprehend that that could happen to Millville. Well, it's happened. Getting back to my point, for those of you who are running, please, this is not a game, as most of you know. It's not a place where you come to bicker and argue and to represent particular political parties. You come because there are 30,000 residents in this city that need representation. And they're looking to a city government that can represent and present something that makes sense. I'm asking you to begin to think about this election day is coming. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. I want you to really do an introspect. Think about, why am I running? Can I make progress? And where do I fit in? Those are the three things that I want you to consider, because even though when I ran, Joe was part of the commission, yeah, it got muddy. But you know what? As I look back, we made progress. Every time I ride down Cedar Street, I think about all of the brand new infrastructure that's under Cedar Street, the new paving of Cedar Street. We made progress. When I think about the construction of 15th Street, that new facility, that's progress. When I think about the inspection annually of all of the hydrants in the city of Millville, that came under my tenure. That's progress. You want to make progress when you're elected, because if you sit in a seat for 4 years and then that seat expires and you look back and all we've been known for is the bickering and arguing, it makes us look bad. I can tell you, I got 1 minute left. I was just the other day, someone came into my presence and said, you know, what's happening in Millville? And I'm begging you, those of you who are running, it's making us all look bad. The hateful words and you're arguing and bickering, it's stuff that children would do. It's not the time to do that, because if we do that, we're going to lose this city as sure as you're born. We're going to lose it because there's an element out there that actually capitalizes off of this type of government that's divided. When we're divided, we can't work together. And I don't care whether you're a Republican. I don't care whether you're a Democrat. I don't care whether you're an independent. The day is long gone when we can just work sporadically apart from each other. We have to come together to make this city live again. If we do not do that, you're going to see more and more and more of what you've seen in this city a few days ago. It's ripe for it. And if we don't act quickly, it's bad when the outside looks inside and the inside looks just as combative as the outside. There's got to be a standard. We've got to raise a standard in this city that says we're going to do it better. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's hard to follow. Thank you, Pastor. It's David Nocera again. I wanted to address the engineers about, you were talking about the money for Four Seasons, very little left to do. I live on Morton Street, as I mentioned before, and my curb and my sidewalk is very bad, and nobody addressed that at all. As a matter of fact, Frankfurt was also not on your list. Dawn is here, you know, you had it on the checklist. My house was on that at 44 Wharton, yet they came, they left, and are they finished doing the work for all the repairs on the sidewalks? What's that? Oh, so that's on the older phase. Okay. Well, that's just. Is that being?
Engineering, please. Can you please just step to the other microphone to answer the public?
So then that's something else.
Wayne, can you move up to the other microphone and answer the public, please, so we can record it properly?
I apologize you couldn't hear me. I think you're in the older phase, Phase 2C, and that was prior to my time here at the city. If you have an issue, send us an email. We'll look at it. I don't think there's anything we could do under this bond for that, but we'd be glad to look at it for you.
Okay, thank you.
And if I may, everybody here had such, detailed concerns. If you could email me and Michelle all your concerns, we can, look at them and reassess them as part of our ongoing effort to, finalize this part of the project. I'm not sure I should have asked that, but please send them. Thank you.
Hi, I want to thank Tom McGinty. I want to thank Mayor Suey for cleaning up the clean team. Didn't really know, what that was, and now that it's part of urban, I get it, and that's a great thing. With regard to some of the issues that you've had out at Four Seasons, just real quickly, thank you, engineering, for doing that in-depth look at that. I'm sure the residents out there appreciate it. I'm sure you've been out there 3 times and looked over things a bunch of times, had to go there repeatedly. A reputable contractor should have had it done in one time. And my question was, at the time, and I had to wait till now, is there a way that you can go after them for administrative cost recovery for the time of engineering spent going out there to reevaluate, reinspect, and evaluate for the time they spent to bring this presentation for Four Seasons tonight? Their time's valuable, and I feel that, it's worth something for the contractor to have to pay for their time. When people bring plans before us, they get evaluated, they get checked out, and then they get a bill. So if administrative cost recovery can be considered, I think it'd be a thing of beauty. And it might be a deterrent for future foot dragging and, shoddy workmanship. I don't want to sound like I'm advertising at a public meeting. I'm also one of the candidates that's running. I just found out tonight that I have to have some extra signatures, so if you want to see me after, sign one of my petitions, I'd appreciate it. Because every time I go to get one signed, I sit for a couple hours, and people want to feed me and talk, and it took me forever to get 50, let alone, And I got 2 days to get 75, which would be no problem, but I'd appreciate, it seems like it's a good thing to ask right now. My last thing, I don't want to try to push an agenda or anything, and I'm not also trying to pat myself on the back or propose something to make myself look good. I spoke to Mayor Suey. We kind of like
Tom,
thought,
I appreciate it, but I'm not the mayor. That'd be Mr. Romney.
or not Mayor Suey, Commissioner Suey. And a while back, an idea came to my head about getting a golf cart type device to, a large one, to shuttle people from the parking at the library, at the parking lots on Buck Street and so forth and so on. I've talked to various business people throughout the community. I'm not going to name them, but they all have businesses on High Street and some other areas. And they thought it was a great idea, and they thought that, it wouldn't be hard to get contributions from people to get that ball rolling. My thinking is the police could use it at times when it's not being used for shuttling public around to public events and making them feel more comfortable. And so the older people like me with bad knees don't have to walk up the hill on High Street. I've also offered to drive the thing as a volunteer, if that's allowed. At the same time, while you're driving around, people complain about the people that are panhandling, people are complaining about people in the parking lots, people complain that they don't feel safe. I spent 20 years observing a lot of things. It wouldn't be anything to observe what's going on in the parking lots when I'm not doing, a run up High Street, ride around a lot, sit out there and look around while things are going on and nobody's moving. And it would be a deterrent for breaking the cars, people roaming around looking for, something nefarious to do. Something as simple as a radio and a pair of eyes might prevent, a problem. I'm sure there are other people like me that would be willing to help out with that, because I've heard way too much, I don't feel safe on High Street. I don't feel safe anywhere. As a proposed commissioner, I think that everybody in the city needs to feel safe. That's the only way we're going to turn this around. It's the only way we're going to get pride in the city. It's got to happen. This might be one small tool to get it done.
Wrap it
Thank
up,
you.
Mr. McGinty. Thank you, Mr. McGinty.
Good evening. My name is Jim Knuble. I live at 41 Dittman Street, Four Seasons. I want to take this moment to thank the engineers. They put a lot of work into what they did tonight. It took a lot of time and effort and walking around to see what went on and put that in a report. So I want to thank you. I believe that validated your vote tonight on the bond. I really do. So I want to take this time to thank them, because I don't think they get the credit for having done all that work at our place. And on behalf of my wife and all the Four Seasons residents, thank you, and thank the commissioners for their vote tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tania Taborn. I live at 310 D Street. I am the owner and operator of Paint Drop Produce, a small business I launched right here in Millville. I'm here tonight to introduce myself and share a bit about the work we're doing and ask for your partnership and support, not just financially, but as a community. I'm a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, a longtime resident of New Jersey, deeply committed to the well-being of my family and my community. My background includes wellness, food systems, entrepreneurship, and most of all, finding creative ways to turn hardship into hope. This stand comes to life because I saw a real need. I personally had a hard time myself getting fruits and vegetables. Families with limited access to fresh produce, seniors struggling to make it to the store, parents trying to find healthier options for their children, and too many of us living in areas where quality food is hard to come by. Paint Drop is more than just a produce stand. It's a community food access project. We launched July 5th, and although we started strong, like many small businesses, we've already seen how quickly momentum can shift. That's why I'm here, to connect with this body early and let you know that what we're trying to build. We currently offer fresh, affordable, farm-fresh, affordable fruits and vegetables, a mobile pop-up at locations like churches and community centers, nutrition-conscious options for low-income families, and soon we'll be accepting EBT as well. This isn't just about selling produce. It's about reducing food waste, keeping our dollars circulating locally, supporting public health, and making Millville a model for food access and innovation. We want to partner with local schools, senior programs, churches, to meet people where they are and keep food access consistent, especially for those who need it most. I'm not here tonight to ask for a handout. I'm here to ask for a hand up. Help identifying resources like microgrants or community development funds, introductions to organizations or city departments that can help us expand our reach, support for pop-up locations, churches, health fairs, and food distribution events, and in time, perhaps an endorsement when we're applying for funding. We're already feeding families, but your support can help us feed many more, and do it with dignity, consistency, and love. We're located at 622 North High Street in front of Soul of the Sea. And we thank you again for your time and attention, and this is just the beginning. I'd love a chance to speak with anyone after the meeting over coffee or to continue this conversation, and I brought a brief handout about Paint Drop to include in my contact information and a few ways you can help us. Thank you for welcoming me and for everything you do in this community. And before I go, I want to acknowledge something very real that's been on my heart. In the last few weeks, I witnessed 2 shootings. We're sitting at the front of Soul of the Sea, across from Family Dollar. On one side, across from the liquor store, somebody was shooting, and we actually saw the shooters run right across in front of us. Last week, we saw the shooting that the pastor was talking about. We were like right there. It's paralyzing to witness something like this. You know, we believe we need to redirect that energy into something powerful and positive for our youth. And that's why we're working on launching a second initiative, Paintball Forever, a safe, structured outdoor paintball and recreation program designed to lower gun violence, give young people a safe outlet, and teach teamwork, discipline, and peace building. We believe that with Paint Drop feeding the community and paintball giving youth new options, we can help shift a narrative in Millville from survival to strength. So again, thank you for hearing from me, and I look forward to working together on all that's good and still possible.
Hi, I'm Regina Cisse. I live at 308 D Street, and I have prepared something to read. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me a chance to speak. My name is Regina. I'm the COO of Paint Drop and Paintball Forever, but more than that, I'm a mother, a daughter, and a community member who loves the city. And like so many of you, I've seen too much violence, too many young people carrying a fear that they should never have to carry. Just a few weeks ago, we did witness 2 shootings right in front of the produce stand. It was less than a block away. We heard everything happen. I heard people screaming. We saw people trying to attack the police because they were just upset, and I commend the police because they actually did a great job with crowd control. They understood people's pain. Why Paintball Forever? This is what we're here to do. We're bringing Paintball Forever here. It's a safe, structured place to get adrenaline out, a team instead of a gang, leadership, training, and jobs, and most importantly, a sense of belonging and purpose. The main property we are working on is in Bridgeton. We've already been networking with the school districts and the police there, but we just moved into Millville, and this is our home now. So we're here tonight because we want to invest our energy here as well. To bring that vision into focus, we're planning an event this Halloween season. Think of it as a low-cost, family-friendly way to give kids a safe celebration and also an introduction to what Paintball Forever is about. We're fortunate that CM, the owner of Soul of the Sea, is donating his property for us to host it, and we're also excited to have Kelly from DJ Academy helping us bring music and energy. This event is bigger than just Millville. It's for Cumberland County as a whole, but even if it were only Millville, it would still be big. That's why we're asking for city support to help us organize, promote, and make it a safe, successful community event. What we need to make this happen is partnership with the city for logistics and promotion, sponsors, vendors, volunteers to help build long-term support as we grow Paintball Forever into a permanent program. At the end of the day, it's about changing the culture. When we have safe places for kids, they're less likely to be victims or perpetrators of violence. When families see joy in their community, they regain trust, and when we show up, not just at funerals, but at festivals, we reclaim our neighborhoods from fear. This Halloween, we're not just planning an event, we're planning hope. We're not just talking about play, we're creating purpose, and with your support, we can do this not just for Millville, but for Bridgeton and Cumberland County and all of our kids. Thank you for your time. Thank you for standing with us, and I'd love to connect with anyone who wants to hear more about our business.
Hello, Steve Soloff from Vineland. For anybody who doesn't already know, I run the website informthevoteny.com, which is just designed to help people learn about the candidates who are running before they walk into the ballot booth so that they have some kind of idea of what they're voting for. I just wanted to extend the invitation to people who are not running, either incumbents who might be able to provide extra insight, or anybody in the community who's involved and might want to just help build the base of knowledge for the community. And second thing was just wondering why certain candidates are scrambling for extra signatures at the last moment, if there's any clarification on that. Thanks.
Oh, okay. This is going to be interesting. I can't stand on my foot this time. Greg Kears, Millville, New Jersey. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to get up to actually, this is a rarity, I think in New Jersey actually, to see a city commission that stands up to a major developer. So I kind of want to give you guys like props. Like, I really think that like if a company like Ryan Homes comes in and wants to develop something, they should be paying for the cost, not the taxpayers that don't live there. But that's my own personal opinion. So I think it's really awesome that you guys kind of fought a developer. It doesn't happen often in New Jersey. I mean, I drive through Vineland. You can see it there. That's the proof in the pudding. Second thing I want to say is actually oddly positive for Millville too, and it kind of piggybacks on what Commissioner Ennis was saying. And I don't know, I heard we were talking about like bringing in the positivity and seeing Millville in a more positive light. And maybe it's because I have a different perspective because of circumstance, but I work downtown at my job, and like I use a wheelchair and crutches, and I walk downtown at night because we have events often downtown at the RCA and the Rowan Center for the Clay College building, and I walk to work every day right down here from City Hall, and I don't know, I've just never been bothered. I mean, I see it. I know there's a problem in Millville that needs to be addressed, but it feels bigger and more societal than just a quick fix. So I think maybe because an election's coming up, the next commission can think about those bigger social things that go into what creates these problems, be it education, be it poverty, be it something as easy as code enforcement. It goes a long way. So that's all.
Good evening, Commission. Robert McQuaid, former Millville City Commissioner for 22 and also a candidate this year, too. The incident that happened on High Street probably was something that would have never been able to stop anyway with police on the street or not. It was something that I understood that was a drive-by shooting, basically, so that's kind of hard. But when we patrolled, we did have a lot of uniform presence out on the street when Chief Harvey was there on High Street. Foot patrol and bike patrol, they see a lot, they smell a lot. And, you know, moving things forward, that would help, although there's, as Commissioner Kurt Hewitt said, there isn't enough funding for that. So hopefully we can find that in the future. Second of all, there is, as Commissioner Ennis had said, and I asked him if he would run again, but he said he won't because there's just too much controversy with the commission. It was funny, when I was there with this commission, besides Costaboon and Watson, I was with Kurt, Lisa Orndorff,
Mayor Romanek and Suey. We did not have any arguments, no controversy, no nothing going on. We 100% worked together, and you can ask Suey, and he can guarantee, he'll tell you the truth. Everything worked smoothly. We got that factory tore down. I worked with code enforcement, even though it was under Lisa, and we removed people, squatters, basically at 808 3rd Street. There was a lot of people living in there and selling drugs. That got sold, got Sheriff Augustino involved with a lot of the properties, and we got those properties removed. Atlantic Electric was making deals with the people to keep the electric on it. The city itself was making deals on keeping the water on for squatters who were illegally living in properties. These are issues that need to be resolved. And I hope that gets resolved in the next commission, because I think this commission is a lot of controversy now since I left. I mean, that's why Lisa's gone, because of controversies. I know 2 commissioners that argue and fight because one didn't get promoted to one job, so he left and went to another job and blamed another commission, and that was told to me when we were running. So I think this whole thing has been a vendetta, and you're gonna get mad at me? I don't care anymore. I'm sick and tired of the way this city is run and the way it acts. It's like the people here were just pawns, and you just do what you want now, and you're arguing with your own little agenda, and it's getting sickening. I'm tired of it. I sat back and watched and watched and watched. So, people, when you vote this November, you need to vote for somebody that cares about the city. Myself, I care. I go out, I pick up televisions for people, we clean up areas, and I go back to caring about the city since 1971 when I was hit by a Millville fire truck and had both legs broken. Okay? I'm also a product of the school board system where I was on special ed and I was in these classes that you didn't think I was going to move anywhere because spelling, reading, and mathematics were hard for me. But I achieved and had a tough mother and moved me forward, and I'm proud of that. So I feel that there is a lot of people out there, I'm not saying vote for me, but there's a lot of people you need to go and check their backgrounds and look them up, make sure they got the right people in here, that we're not going to have backroom arguments which causes issues. And again, I go back with Dennis, he mentioned those arguments in the background, and I'm confirming those arguments. It goes on from commission to commission. And arguing up here with people, we never did that on the school board. We may have had disagreements, but we never argued in front of the public. It doesn't look professional, and it doesn't look good for the public because it makes you look like an ass. And it makes the people feel that you don't know what you're really doing. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Good evening, Tim Cardy. Mr. Mayor, can I make a suggestion and maybe Mr. Russell can look into it? I know it's public comment, but I believe that campaigning shouldn't be done during city commission meetings because we have how many people campaigning? They all get 5 minutes. And I know the ladies and gentlemen and people watching don't want to watch everybody campaign. Maybe somebody that's running could maybe set up a town hall meeting somewhere instead of taking up the city's time, because I don't think it's fair for the other candidates. The other candidates that are running that may not have a chance to come here, why other people are up here campaigning. And yourself as commissioners shouldn't be campaigning up on a dais neither. So Mr. Russell, if you could, I'm asking as a member of the public, can you look into the laws and see if we can prevent the campaigning at public meetings and have them shifted elsewhere? Thank you. Now, on to what I was going to speak about. The leaf and brush pickup that's beginning on September 2nd, and I bring this up every time leaf and brush pickups time comes. Is there a way to notify the public which areas, streets, and roads are going to be in picking up?
I will look into that and get back to you.
Because I've been told numerous times from streets and roads that it's impossible, which I don't understand how bigger municipalities can give their residents a week's heads up or in advance so they can have their brush picked up. I mean, it would really help out, especially since we're doing brush pickup one time this round, and leaves are until a certain date. Also, my second question is, and I'm going to go back far. I remember when Mayor Shannon was mayor, and I even asked this at a couple other meetings with prior commissions. Is it possible to attach the bills onto the agenda? Because this way, we know what bills you guys are voting for, and if we have questions on the bills, maybe we can ask. It's only fair, since it's our tax money that are paying for their spending, and instead of me doing an Oprah request or waiting till the minutes are approved and then it gets posted onto the website, it would be nice if the public can see where their money is actually going and can question it before you guys vote on it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mary Messick here of Millville. One, I applaud the commission for standing up to people that want to sit there and ask for astronomical fees for doing a job that, I'm sorry, I wouldn't give a 2-year-old the credit of what they've done. But needless to say, this is one way we can send a message that can change the mindset of a lot of people. This town is a town that cares. We bond together when there's been disasters. We bond together when there's been a tragedy. We bond together and came up with things like play streets, pop-ups, POW, Boys and Girls Clubs. These are all things that can sit there and change. I applaud the fact that we managed to get those that have decided to make dumb choices off the street so they can't do it again. I applaud that. That was quick. I've seen a lot. I've been here a lot. I've been to these meetings more times than I've got fingers and toes, and I'm working on body parts now. And I'm glad to say that I'm going to continue to do it. As long as I've got breath in me, I will stand side by side with our law enforcement. I will stand side by side for this city. I'm originally from Newark, and I've said it since I moved here. I'll be darned if I'm going to see this town turn out like the town I was born in, where you call for help because you need it, and you're literally told, we'll make a list. But yet, let something simple as somebody punch you, you got just about everybody and anybody under the sun at your doorstep. That's not the way to live. Yes, we can change our mindsets. Yes, maybe sometimes we need to look back. I know the old cliche goes, you can't go back. But maybe we can look back at what was working, such as POW, extend POW, bring back the DARE program, possibly take some of the officers, put them on bikes on real good days. You'd be surprised how much that helps. I know all the officers are basically community officers, but take a few and designate them as community officers, because I myself have seen a lot of these officers pull their cruisers over and go play basketball or volleyball with these kids. And that changes the outlook of how they think. And it makes a better person. Yes, we've all struggled. We still struggle. I don't care how young or how old you are, whether you have a job or you're not old enough to have a job. We all struggle. But if we work together and go back to the basics, yes, take care of what's in your own yard and expand. Whether my neighbors do or my neighbors don't, and I'm not worrying about if they do or they don't. Look out towards my property to make sure that nothing's going wrong. but I'll look out on theirs, and I'll be proud to stand and say I've done it. And I thank yous.
Seeing no one else, I will close public comment. Closing comments of commissioners. Commissioner Hewitt, go ahead.
Basically, thank you everybody for coming out. It shows you what happens when people do come to a meeting. There was a lot decided tonight. I don't know if they were going to be voted on the way they were. That's what it takes is community involvement. With that, thank you folks for being out here. And that's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Hewitt. Commissioner Sui.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to get to the young lady up there that spoke about the businesses. So you may or may not be aware, we have UEZ grants, facade grants, in the amount of $20,000 available for businesses. We also, the EDA just announced grants. That information is on our website, okay, on the city website. We also have loans available. For that, you can contact our administrator, Mr. Couchy. He'll set you in the right direction, and that's through the Cumberland Empowerment Zone using UEZ money. And to touch on something that Mr. Keir said, as well as Ms. Messick said. So you're right, we should go back to the way things were. But there's a lot of things missing that we don't have anymore. Among those things that are missing are discipline in the homes for kids. They don't get it. They go to school. They don't get discipline. Teachers get told to pass them. They don't get thrown out. They'll go to alternative school. Sometimes, my understanding, they can still play sports. Ridiculous. We have prosecutors that are more interested in social programs than in prosecuting criminals. There aren't serious enough offenses for things besides murder, and I can tell you that from personal experience when I had the individual come through my window and he was out of jail in 8 months in the middle of the night. We have Attorney General that handcuffs our police. You'll see people ride, it all starts with basic stuff. You'll see the people riding down the streets with the four-wheelers, and the cops are told they can't chase them, they can't pursue them. But run into one of them, see what happens. Right, so you have that. You have bail reform. So you're going to arrest them. We did the park ordinance. We pass an ordinance so you can't camp in the park. Let's say we go arrest them. We take them to City Hall. We prosecute them or process them. What do you think happens? They're not putting them in jail. They're letting them right out. Now, that's a lot of stuff. I could go on and on and on. But, one thing we've been working for, and this commission has worked towards, is economic opportunity through economic development. Not only on High Street, but the projects out at the airport with CRP. You don't really see a lot of minor crimes. Like if I go to Cherry Hill, I don't see this kind of stuff, right? If I go to Haddonfield, I sure don't see it. So we have to give economic opportunity to everybody. And that may sound like a campaign speech to you, Mr. Carty, but it's the truth. So, that's the kind of stuff that we have to work on, that, we can arrest the criminals. We can provide our police department with funding, which we have. They've been fully funded. Recruitment has been the problem. We can do all that. But until everybody else starts doing their part, it doesn't work. And you do have an election in November. And I'm not talking about this local election. I'm talking about on the state level. Think very carefully. Look at your candidates. Look at what you think will happen when you elect whatever candidate you decide to elect. And that goes for the state. It goes for the county. There's a resolution on the county agenda to make a new authority with taxing powers so that we can have a shared services agreement with Camden County for some kind of reentry thing. I don't know. I didn't get into it all the way. But I can tell you another tax isn't going to solve the problem. I don't know why we couldn't build a county jail. We started to, and we stopped. So look into all that when you make your decisions. Good luck with the new business. Appreciate it. And with that, progress.
Thank you, Commissioner Sui. Commissioner Constable.
Well, I don't want to sound like I am, but I had this from this morning, and I just felt the need to address our community with the concerns brought to me about what happened last week. Yes, another senseless shooting and death in Millville. But I want everyone in this city to know this commission does not tolerate this type of behavior, and we are all equally concerned about what occurred. Nothing matters more to me and the rest of this board than the safety of our youth and citizens. And party lines are not working here. Everyone is working together to find solutions for the many problems Millville is having. But I also want to remind you, as a community, we are a community. Don't govern on Facebook, please. If you're upset about something that has occurred, call, ask about it. Find out what is the role, what is the law. And if we don't know the answer, we will get back to you. Another thing is look for community events where you can volunteer, such as clean communities, your streets, etc. This is a terrific way to meet your neighbors. Please remember, we did not get this way overnight, and we're not going to fix it overnight. A community working together can achieve change. And if there's anything I've seen in the past few months, Millville is resilient, and I've seen our town come together in many positive ways. So I'll end this with a quote. But first, I want to say thank you to Four Seasons for coming out, and the engineering department, great job. You have taught me so much. Thank you, Michelle. The most important thing is to keep going. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Cosseboom. Vice Mayor Watson.
For SOA negotiations, it's been ongoing, for quite some time, yes, but, we're hopefully towards the end. September 11th is our next negotiation meeting. Yes, for those that requested petitions, the number is 75. There's a count 50, 60 for most, so be sure to grab your petitions and get more signatures. An email was sent out to all of those that have requested them, for updates. Partial responsibility, for the mishap is, this year we were shorthanded in the clerk's office, and I could take responsibility for that. It was my department at that time. So the number, if anybody heard something different, I believe it was 50. Fault goes to me. So if you have anybody to blame. For Susan Quinones, as the mayor stated, again, best wishes to her as she moves on. I know she looks forward to her retirement. Thank you for everything that you've taught me, the time that you spent with me. I know you needed a lot of patience as I asked a lot of the same questions. So best wishes to Susan. For disagreement in the commission, I don't think it's progress to fall in line and do what another commissioner says or to smile in front of the public. That's not commission, that's not progress to me. I think progress is actually having debates and having discussions and have differences of opinions, and at the end of that, you can still shake that person's hand and appreciate, their opinion. So, that's where I stand on that, and it's what this kind of commission is supposed to be for. So, with that, thank you all for coming. Again, thank you for engineering department. Thank you, Water and Sewer, for all your updates, and Sewer for having me down there to do the pilot study and check out, the project going on out back for the clarifier. And thank you to all the commission. A lot of things get caught up, and I think that we all try to do the best that we can with the time given. And I learned a lot from all of you, so thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Watson. Tim, yeah, I agree. It's a public meeting. I don't like campaigning at a public meeting. If you want to campaign, go to town hall, quote unquote. I will say this, that I believe the Millville Chamber of Commerce is looking to have an open forum of candidates. It was being talked about, and that'll be the place to do it. I don't know if there's any ordinance, or I can just say, I don't want you to campaign during a city meeting where we have city business to discuss, where concerned citizens and residents in the city of Millville have an obligation to convey their concerns, and not for you to campaign. If they want to know about you, they'll get in contact with you. There's 27,500 residents in the city, and about 10,000 are registered to vote, and about 3,000 actually vote. So they'll find you who you are that are campaigning. Golf cart idea. Vineland spent over $40,000 on a police utility vehicle that's basically a car that's electric. And the first time they used it, Mr. McGinty, was National Night Out, and they've never used it since. So from the Deputy Chief Picado, I believe, Pasito, thank you. Vineland's and their last names. He rolled his eyes with that investment that the police department made. So we'll think long and hard about that. Mary, thank you. You come here even when you're sick, and you always say the right things. We might not always agree, but in the end, you know, most of my notes when everybody speaks, you know, especially today, go Mary. So thank you, Mary. Greg, I hope you're doing all right. I see. Hope everything's all right. And you're right. Most municipalities don't go after big business. Don't put the foot down and hold their feet to the fire and say, "Hey, this isn't right. This is what we're gonna do." We listen, and truthfully, we're in a rock between a hard place. But as Commissioner Sui said, you know, I have faith in the engineering department. I have faith in our solicitor that, you know, what does come of this, you know, will be right in the end. So thank you, Greg. New business. I couldn't hear your names. You speak very quiet and politely, but I appreciate you coming here. I know it takes a lot of courage. I did get your address down, so to see I know exactly where that is. I'll be sure to stop by and just say hello. But as Commissioner Sui says, you know, we do have a lot of grants available. Please do contact the business administrator, Mr. Couchy. And you already missed CBDG grants, but please do apply for them for next year, as that can help as well. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before you adjourn, I'd like to ask the commission something.
1 to 7, yes. Go ahead, Commissioner Sui.
Yeah, I meant to ask it when we voted on the cannabis resolution, but I think now that the resolution is passed and we have an application for the retail sale, that we should start handing that out, getting it filled out. We have 20 days before the ordinance actually takes effect, so we can begin renewing them if we can have a consensus for that.
Correct. Yeah, there's no problem with handing the application process we have out before the ordinance takes effect.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, obviously, they can't get a permit until it becomes a permitted use.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you. I mean, when I know the Four Seasons was going to show up, you know, but thank you for the public. I asked for it, you know, 2 weeks ago. I said, you know, I appreciate all these seats being filled. You know, I put the chief on a hot seat with how many people we could fit in here, but we're still under capacity, and I like the new businesses coming up and saying, hey, this is who we are, this is what we want to be, this is how we want to help. You all are here to help the city that you live in, and that city is Millville, New Jersey. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I appreciate each and every one of your comments. I hope that you all have a great night and enjoy the weekend. See you September 2nd. Motion for adjournment?
Make